Good evening students. Welcome back to the class. In last class you have studied about Naduvali Surubams. So today we are going to study about ownership of land during 18th century and agriculture and occupational groups of medieval Kerala. Students, let's examine the ownership of land during 18th century. There were three types of land based on the ownership right during the medieval period. They are first one Cherakal, the land under the control of the Naduvaris. Second one Brahmasam, the land under the control of Brahmins. And third one Devasam, the land under the control of temples. Owners of Devasam land were called Orelar. The rulers, Brahmins, or the people of the temple did not directly cultivate in this land. They used to give the land for the cultivation to middlemen called Karalar. Okay, next, let's see the changes in the land ownership rights between the 12th and 18th centuries Common Era. First one, Janmam land. The rights over the land passed on from one generation to another and became a birthright. This kind of land came to be known as Janmam land, and the people who had the ownership rights over those lands are called Janmis. Second one, Verimpattam land. A custom called Verimpattam became widely prevalent during this period. The Verimpattam land was the land given to the Kudians by the Jammis with the agreement that a predetermined share of the produce could be given to the Jammi. Third one, Panayapattam system. The Panayapattam system, which was also known as Kanam or Otti, it became prevalent after the period of the Perimals. According to this, the person who took the land on lease used to give an amount as security to the landlord when he leased the land for cultivation. The Kanakudian did not have the right to sell or transfer this land. He just had the right to cultivate in this land. Kurikanam was a kind of tax rebate that existed during this period. According to this, all the plants which had not yet started yielding were exempted when the pattam was calculated by the Jammis. Fourth one, introduction of land measurements. It was in the second half of the 18th century that the land was measured. Malabar was under the Mysore Sultans during this period. Mysore Sultans had developed the system of tax based on the total production from the land, of which a share was fixed to be collected as tax. Later, the British conducted a land survey, divided the land in terms of acres and cents, and allotted them survey numbers. Similarly, land survey were conducted in Kochi and Travancore. In Kochi, it was known as Ketteluthu, and in Travancore, it was known as Kandeluthu. Accordingly, tax was fixed on the assessed land. Okay students, let's study about agriculture and occupational groups of medieval Kerala. Farming was done in Vayal, Parambu, Puraidam and Malam Pradeshangal in those times. Paddy was the main crop in Vayal. They used to cultivate paddy, horse gram, millets and tubers in Parambu. Coconut, arcanut, pepper, ginger, turmeric, pulses and tubers were also cultivated. Upland paddy was grown in highlands. Forest produces were also collected from highlands. Farming in those times was dependent on the southwest monsoon, that is Edavapadi, and the northeast monsoon, that is Tulavarsham. Organic manure such as cow dung and leaves were used for agriculture. Next, let's see the occupational groups during the medieval Kerala. During this period, communities engaged in various occupations were formed and they got categorized into castes. They are, first one, people engaged in agriculture and the making of agricultural equipments. Second one, people involved in handicrafts and the making of metal equipments. Third one, people engaged in trade. Fourth one, people involved in weaving and oil production. Fifth one, people involved in temple rituals. And sixth one, officials connected to the Naduvadi Swarubams. The descendants of those who were engaged in a particular occupation follow the same occupation. People engaged in the same occupation evolved into one caste. The Adiyalars, who used to farm during the medieval times, occupied the lowest rank in the caste hierarchy, whereas the Brahmins were at the top. Okay students, hope that you have understood about ownership of land and agriculture and occupational groups of medieval Kerala. Read your textbook thoroughly. If you have any doubt, you can ask. So be happy and safe at your home. See you in the next class. Thank you.